First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, I'm not here by myself right now. I'm here joined by Eric G. It is Thursday. That was a weird way to say that. I just, wanted to start it off that way. Eric G. joining us right now from around the house Northwest. Thursday, 1:30 p.m. every week. He joins us here. We'll get a preview of this week's episode, but we also get to talk about some pretty great things that everybody can do at home. And Eric always has great advice. But this week, I got to say, I'm really excited to talk about this. I love tech. And I love smart home security things. And I love anything smart home tech. So smart home security tech upgrades, I'm all about this. And you've got some good stuff here for us this week.
Man, there is so much great stuff out there that I absolutely love, right? And it's really getting where, like security systems, they've changed the game over the last year or so. And maybe two tops, where it's not just an alarm system with sensors anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think, at this point, a lot of people have incorporated something in there. Maybe it's a camera or, still there's a lot of people who haven't, but or smart doorbell, but there's so many different things out there that you can use.
Well, the problem with cameras is if no one's watching them, then they're just documenting a crime, right? That's the problem with them. And how many times do you have like the cat go across the neighbor's catwalk across from the Ring doorbell, and you get like 22 notifications during the day and you never check it because you're like, oh man, I'm in a meeting, I got something else going. And then you come back and go, oh man, that was my package from the delivery today.
Yep, I've had that same thing happen. I had like a branch that was setting my doorbell off constantly, so I would just get annoyed with it. And then of course that's one of them was somebody taking a package, which it's not gonna. There's nothing I can do with that. You can't send that in and be like, "Hey, my package was stolen." But, but it would be good to see it in action, I guess. But yeah, so that's certainly an issue.
So the one I love right now, and it's the leading one out there, it's a company called Deep Sentinel. I've actually been trying this out at my house for about 18 months. And so what they do is they use artificial intelligence with live guards. So what they do is there's no sensors or anything that you put on your house for doors and windows, because their goal is to get it before they come in. And so you set these little cameras out that are battery operated around the perimeter of your house. And then what it does is, like when your UPS, FedEx, Amazon driver, it goes, oh, that's a delivery, all good. And there is a live guard watching at the other end. So what happens is they're walking up to the door, they're dropping it off. I'll get a message going, package delivered. Cool, awesome. So it knows that. But what happens is if you've got somebody coming up and knocking on your door and you don't answer it, and they hang around for a second, now you've got a live guard jumping on going, Deep Sentinel security, is there something I can help you with?
Wow, so they'll actually have somebody who will, I love the fact, I guess, first off, that you just mentioned that it uses AI to determine that. So you're not getting those constant alerts, constant updates, but to have somebody that can actually log in, because how often are you able to, as we were just talking about, answer your Ring doorbell and really do something? So that's pretty cool. How many cameras do you have out? Do you know for using that?
You could put as many as you need to. I think up to 8. I just put them on the corners of your house, so you've got all the main entrance points, and usually you're pretty good at that point. But the cool thing with this as well is not only are they watching it there, but my son was leaving the house, heading off to over the holidays last year to grandma's house, and grabbed the Vitamix mixer that was going to go get wrapped and go out to grandma's house. Well, it was raining, hoodie was down, walked out with the Vitamix mixer, and the security guard went, hey, hold on for a second. What's going on here? This looks suspicious. And asked the questions, right?
Yeah.
So not only are they getting you going in, but they're also, if something happens after the fact, if someone comes up and is peeking in the window, they can do that. And then they have the phone number to the police as well. So if they see something, they can say, hey, it's the big, tall, bearded dude with tattoos looking in somebody's window here that's 6'1" and white. Go look for this guy. And it's so much different than an alarm company saying there's a motion alarm on motion 32 at this residence that a computer has sent out, because a lot of the times those are just false alarms.
Yeah, quite a lot of time. So, and that's called Deep Sentinel.
Deep Sentinel. So that's one right there.
Okay.
Now, the next one here is a company that's come out here in the last few years that has basically made it so you can stop the porch pirates every time.
Okay.
And it's foolproof. And these guys are really cool. Similar name, but it's MB Sentinel. And so
Okay.
what these guys have done is they've created what they call the box gobbler. So what you do is you walk up to the front of the house, and maybe your garage is right there, and you cut a hole in the side of your house into the garage, for instance, and it has a key code on the front. So when you order your stuff off Amazon or whatever, you just give like a gate code. If you had a gate to get into your residence, you give them the code for this. They come up, they hit the code, it goes in there, and it drops it through the wall onto a little shelf that is inside your garage. So it's never being left on your porch. And so you can mount this up. It's insulated if it's a heated area, if it's going into another place of your house. And really, it's something that you can mount on the side of your house. You can put it out like it's its own mailbox out by the front of your house in the driveway. There's a lot of things you can do with that. But I tell you what, it is the way to stop the porch pirates once and for all.
Yeah, just dropped in there, completely secure and set up. That's and what was the name of that one again?
NB Sentinel.
NB Sentinel. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
yeah, cut it out so there is no package there to be stolen.
Absolutely. Now, we're talking products here, but I wanted to talk before we get into lighting here. Some of the things that you should do to your house, just as a basic homeowner, to make sure that you've got security going on. So you've got your lights and stuff that you'd have on the outside of the house. Make sure they're working. It's fall now. We're starting to get darker earlier earlier in the day and later in the morning. So it's a good time to be checking those things. But really, the next best thing is to make sure that when you pull up to the front of your house, you have a clear view of your front door and you don't have places for people to hide. So if you're walking up to the front door and if somebody can be peeking in the windows, hiding behind a bush, maybe you need to bring those back a little bit and make it where you've got a great view. And more importantly, somebody driving by has a great view of the front of your house as well.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, because especially like you mentioned, as it starts getting darker, it would be a lot easier to, potentially hide in something like that. So if that's kept back and you have a clear view, that would help out a lot. Yeah.
That's a simple one right there. And then the other one is I love smart lighting solutions, and there's a lot of different ways to go. But Lutron, which is kind of the most popular brand out there, they have their Casita series that you can get at any home center, Amazon, whatever else, and you can hook your outside lights into one of those and just replace the switch, and then you can set it up so it's automatically turning off and on with sunlight. So if you just say, hey, I want this to come on, an hour before the sun goes down and to go off an hour after it comes up or half hour, whatever you want, you never have to worry about turning your outside lights off and on again because it'll do it for you automatically and you can set it once and forget it.
I love that. Yeah, smart home lighting is I feel like I'm just in the very beginning stages of it. I've got a few smart bulbs, a few different things like that, but for the security side of things, that sounds like a really, really valuable use case there.
Yeah, and what I tell people to do before you go out and get the right switches and you start diving into smart home stuff, figure out what your smart home hub is going to be, whether it's going to be like an Apple HomeKit or you're going to be using Alexa, or if you're going to be using like Samsung Smart Things or whatever system you're going to do, figure that out first and then put all your other stuff, whether it's cameras or it's lighting switches or whatever you're doing, make sure it's compatible because it's so nice to have one app and one switch to control all of it. And so you don't have 32 apps in your phone running 32 different devices.
Right, and that's something that thankfully is changing compared to where it used to be, where there were so many different things. You have to have all these random apps to control one little thing. But definitely check and make sure that all that's compatible.
Yeah, and it's so simple because literally I go to bed at night, I hit the good night button on my smart app and it turns off all the lights at the house. It turns on the ones that I want just for kind of night lighting and the outside. And it does it in one button. It makes sure my garage door is closed. I mean, it does everything for me just by hitting the good night button. And it's locking my doors and everything else. So I don't have to go around and do the whole nighttime routine of making sure everything's set.
Right. That's comforting. Not have to get up and be like, okay, did I lock the door? Did I not lock the door? Just press the button and
it gives you a warning if it goes, hey, that lock didn't lock or that something didn't happen right. It'll give you a warning that something went sideways and then you can go investigate it yourself. But it's a good way to make sure you're doing all the things. I mean, I know so many people go to bed, at night and leave their garage door open once and then who knows what happens from there.
Right. Well, all great advice. Then, different ways that you can actually upgrade that and make sure that everything's safe. Anything else there you want to talk about around the house Northwest for this week?
Let's talk about Around the House Northwest. We got a huge show coming up this weekend.
Yeah. So what are you doing this one?
So we've got a lot of different stuff. Our Made in Northwest, we went out to Benchmade Knives. You know, those guys make
Nice.
premium knives and walk through their entire production process. Blew my mind. It was super cool to see how they're making knives out in Oregon City, and it's all being done right there.
That's why I always think this history, that segment is so interesting, because there's so many things that you go cover that I had no idea were made here. You know, that I didn't realize that the manufacturing is done right here, all locally. So Benchmade Knives, that's really cool.
Oh, and those guys make a really nice premium knife. Doesn't matter if you're a chef or you're a contractor, or, you know, you're working in the military or just a DIY homeowner, they got a knife for you. I mean, it's incredible the stuff they make out there.
Nice. And so, so what else did you hit for this week?
Then we I show you how to remove and replace base trim molding, the stuff going on the bottom of the wall between that and your floor, how to do that. And then I've got some tricks and tips with some new products as I'm doing it. There's a new spray glue that I use that literally sets up like, it basically goes on in about 2 seconds. It sets up so you can assemble your moldings and then put them on the wall.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be a good segment, because getting that molding off can be a real pain. So having something that's nice and easy to put it back on, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because, you know, you're always fighting those miters, right? So literally,
Yes.
you take this glue, put it on one side. There's a spray can that looks like old-fashioned 80s hairspray that you spray on it. On the other side, when you put them together, it just, boom, like super glue in a second, and it's done. And then you can mount it in there and get it in there, and it looks like a pro did it. And it's really DIY friendly that way.
Nice. So as always, you know, lots of stuff going on in each episode, because you have so many different segments, so many different things that you go cover. Anything else that you want to tease about, or let people know about, or
Oh
wait
man,
to
we've
watch
got an important one too. It's just a few minutes long. It's not a big segment, but we talked to Tony Russell Insurance about renters and homeowners insurance, because think about it. When was the last time you updated the cost of your home, what the value is? Because so many people buy their insurance online, so you don't have somebody physically looking at your account every time. And so if your house has gone up by 50%, has your insurance to make sure that you can rebuild it if you had a total loss?
Very good point. Yeah, that's valuable for both homeowners and for renters. So definitely making sure that you're up to date on that. Awesome. And that's all on this week's episode. Plus, I know there's a lot more that'll be on there too.
Man, we're testing new products. We've got a couple pro tips that we're doing, you know, so there's a lot in this show. I think we got 7 or 8 episodes like we did last week.
Awesome. And when and where, as always, when and where can people watch?
Oh yeah, we're jammed up Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus, and then Sunday night at 6 if you miss that. And then, of course, Friday morning, like tomorrow morning, we've got it at 8 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus playing, you know, the previous week's episode. So if you missed last week, you can catch it tomorrow morning, and then Saturday at 10 a.m.
Fantastic, Eric. Always so good to have you on here to talk about all this stuff. I'm going to look up all those products afterward, because now I want some of those, and I definitely want to upgrade the smart home lighting. That's for sure, for the security lighting. So, and
so
as
easy.
usual, yeah, right. It's so easy. And for everybody watching, as always, I want to remind you they can go to the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel. We've got tons of clips of Around the House Northwest. We've got all the segments where Eric's here on Fox 12 Now and everything else there. So lots of stuff to watch. Go there and check all of those out. Check out the newest episode of Around the House Northwest, and catch last week's if you missed that one. And Eric's here pretty much every Thursday at 1:30, so you can always join in and drop in questions. If you have questions you want to send in, send those in. Fox12now at kptv.com, or drop them on one of the Facebook pages, and we'll get to those too. But I think that's it for now. Eric, thanks so much.
Thanks, brother.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
everybody. We'll be back soon.